All right, here we go. You've done it. You've made it to the 23rd episode of Reading with Drew. And that means we are on the 23rd chapter of Perloo the Bold by AVI. Okay, you know what? Let's just dig in. This one's called The New Grantor. This one's going to be a good one. As soon as Cineas was informed that the great blizzard was over, he assembled an army of 100 Monomer warriors. In full armor, pikes in paw, they lined up in the great hall, awaiting the arrival of Berwig. Crowds of nervous onlookers pressed against the walls to watch, while the warriors were stiff and stone-faced. Their toes curled with tension. The spectators were full of emotion. Excitement, pride, worry, fear, and indignation, all were there. Midst the onlookers was Gumple, acting bored. No one paid any mind. Cineas, however, was hopping up and down before the warriors, issuing orders, reminding them out of the battle plan. Remember all I've taught you about how and where to fight, he told them. If you do, you can't lose. Sorry, I forgot his voice for a second. Cineas's thoughts contradicting his words. It was his expectation that just before hopping off at the head of the army, Berwig would appoint him acting grantor. Then, while the army and Berwig were gone, Cineas, would secure his own power. Key to his plan were two hopes: the defeat of the Monomer army by the Felbards, and Berwig's death on the battlefield. Of course, there was always the chance of the Felbards might then really attack. What did Cineas care? He would deal with that later, if he had to, when he was grantor. The doors of the great hall swung open. 4 musicians with sounders hopped in. Putting horns to mouths, they blew braying fanfares. It was the cue for Berwig's entry. In he hopped, bulky, in a red fox fur smock, ears beeswaxed to perfect points, newly dyed whiskers swept back in an attitude of ferocity. In one paw, he held a pike adorned with dragonfly wings. Cool. Salute, Grantor Berwig. Oh. Salute, Grantor Berwig, Cineas cried. As the warriors grasped their left ears and chanted, "Great ho to the Grantor! Great ho to the Grantor!" After which they beat their wooden armor with their pikes, accepting the salute with a gleeful, gapped-toothed grin. Berwig took a few pompous hops in front of the troops, pausing occasionally to scratch himself. "Oh, Grantor," Cineas said in a loud voice when Berwig settled himself upon this atop. "As your first assistant, I have the honor of presenting your mighty army to you. Your loyal warriors are ready, willing, and able to die in the defense of your honor and the honor of our tribal territory. Is that not true?" he added, turning to the warriors. "Ho!" they cried as one while clacking their armor. "Ho for our army!" Oh, okay. "Ho for our army!" Gumple shouted out from midst the crowd. A goodly number in the crowd, swept up by the excitement, repeated the cheer. Berwig pulled himself up as tall as he was capable, placed one paw upon his heart, and squinted at the troops. "Monomer warriors," he bellowed, "with your help, I'm about to go and, defend the homelands from the stupid aggression of our ancient enemies, the Felbards. Fear not, I, Berwig the Big, shall lead you to, glory. Nothing shall deter us from actual victory." "Prepare to hop," Cineas ordered the troops as the troops clacked their armor. Stop! Berwick suddenly cried. I have another important announcement to make. Cineas, anticipating that Berwick was about to proclaim him acting grantor, made an effort to look humble. Berwick continued, I need to inform my subjects about who's going to be in charge while I'm away winning this war. Cineas crept forward, the better to accept Berwick's transfer of power to him in a modest manner as he could manage. Because, Berwick continued, he has been of such a help and actually support to me, I've decided to honor my first assistant, Cineas, by allowing him. Berwick turned down Cineas's smirk, then said, to come along with us. Flabbergasted, Cineas stared open-mouthed at Berwick. The fact is, Cineas is so eager to show his bravery, I have decided to place him in the command position at the head of the army. Cineas, hop forward and accept your great honor. Furious, but forced to hide his emotions, Cineas approached Berwick. What are you doing, you fool? He snarled in a low voice. I'm supposed to stay here and make sure all will be in order for your triumphant return. You're coming with me, Berwick returned. What's more, you're going to hop at the front of the army so I can keep you in sight. I won't do it. You will, or I'll dismiss you on the spot, Berwick snarled. Make up your mind. Cineas stared at Berwick. He did not think Berwick was capable of living up to his threat, but this was not, he decided, the moment to act. Fool, he hissed to Berwick, but said no more. Delighted with his success, Berwick cried out in a loud voice, Cineas, with a great affection, I present you with the dragonfly pike as a token of the trust I have in you. So saying, he handed the pike to Cineas, who, having little choice, took it. For a fleeting moment, Cineas was tempted to spike Berwick with it. Again, he resisted the temptation. In time, he told himself, and held his paw. And what do you think is going to manage things here for you while you're away? He asked in an undertone. I've got the perfect one, retorted Berwick. Who? Cineas yelped. Berwick turned and addressed the crowd. Grumple, please come forward. Gumple, squat and rumpled, bleary eyes blinking, hopped toward Berwick with a great show of reluctance. All around her, monomers shifted nervously to let her and her foul odor pass. Approaching Berwick, she bowed low to the floor. Cineas's ears shook with rage. At the depth of her bow, Gumple bowed low to the floor. Gumple pulled her left ear and muttered, Oh, Grantor, I am surprised and humbled by this honor. I think you would be, Berwick agreed. Now then, Gumple, I want your promise that you'll keep things in perfect order, making sure that you will, uphold justice, honor, and all that rubbish. Of course, Grumple murmured. I wouldn't think of doing anything else. Good, fine. We'll be back as soon as I rout the Felbarts. Cineas, take your place at the head of the army and lead us away. Bursting with rage, Cineas hopped forward. Prepare to hop, he snarled. The monomer army began to hop up and down. Ready, hop, the commanders cried. Clacking their armor, the warriors began to hop out of the great hall in lines of 3. Cineas's ears twitching with rage was at the head. Berwick followed the last of the warriors out of the hall, even as the musicians gave one final bleat on their sounders. The doors to the great hall were shut. All became still, save for the diminishing sound of the clacking army. For a long while, Gumple remained staring at the closed doors. Then she turned. Everyone in the great hall was staring at her. Blinking, nodding, Gumple hopped slowly toward the top. When she came close to it, she paused, put out a paw, and stroked its surface gently. Trembling with excitement, she sat down, wiggling to place herself just right. When she was firmly seated, she looked up at the crowd. Very well, then, she sighed in her sleepy drawl. I am the grantor. She smiled slyly. From now on, everyone must do what I want. So, there you have it. The new grantor. Mm-hmm. Yes. I did not see that coming. I mean, I kind of did because they planned it out, but I thought something else might happen. Oh, okay. So I'm kind of curious as to what Gumple's gonna do because we don't really know a whole lot about her besides that she somehow managed to squeak her way into Berwig and Sineas's little, Game of Thrones there. So I don't know, like she's gonna like be a good leader or not, but she kind of sounds evil though too, especially at the end with the witch laugh. But yeah, good old Gumple, tricking some of the wisest Montimers. Yes. So we'll see what happens. And the Felbarts, are they gonna retaliate or Berwig's trying to like act tough? But we'll see what comes down to it because Sineas can actually fight, even though he's old. It's said previously that he knows how to kick some butt. So we'll see what happens on the next chapter of Reading with Drew. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I have. And if you want to read this book yourself, you'll just have to buy it. Amazon. Just get it off of Amazon or wherever. Your local bookstore. All right. Before I go, let's see what the next chapter is. Yes. It is, drumroll, chapter 24, Captured. Finish him. Okay, that's it. That's all I have for you. I hope you're entertained.